Guys, what's going on? It's IGC Azrael, and I'm bringing you my first video tutorial. As you can see, there's a gradient in place. I just took two colors from the Goofy. Unfortunately, I had to crop the video for YouTube, so sorry about that. But anybody who needs help with the gradient, I mean, it's right on the left side. And all you do is take the color dab tool and take colors from the Goofy. Sure, that's like basic knowledge for everyone. If not, PM me on the site and I'll help you out trying to figure everything out. Goofy, I found this Goofy. There was another one that I liked, but the resolution really wasn't working with my computer screen, and it's hard enough because I was doing it on a MacBook. Okay, what I'm now doing is I take a new layer and a fuzzy brush, white. Obviously it's too small, so I go and resize it. And make sure you do this on another layer because you don't want to put it on your gradient layer, and you definitely don't want it on your Goofy layer. You want it behind it. New layer is always recommended so that you can delete it if you fuck up. So as you see, I just dabbed a couple times behind the Goofy, and then I duplicate Goofy a few times, 3 or 4 times for this tutorial because this is just a simple, something quick for the guys who want to learn some different techniques. In case you're wondering, I made this. The image size is 450 times 150, which is the standard size for the RGC website. And yeah, that's it. That's about it. I resized Goofy. He wasn't always that small. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to my maple brush. I'm going to resize it probably down to like 12, 14. And I'm just going to go over the top layer of the Goofy. It's like my third or fourth duplicate. And it's like, nothing crazy. Just, just kind of like smudge around the edges of them. You're going to repeat that, with all your duplicate layers. Except for your bottom one, your original. What's crazy is I was sick the past couple days. So lucky you didn't hear me yesterday. Well, not even yesterday, like 2 days ago, man. It sounded like Kermit the Frog, man. You can ask Lady or Countess. They'll tell you. Okay, what I did is set the top layer to linear dodge. Then I repeated on the second one I did the smudging again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that layer to color dodge. And I'm just going to do, on the next layer, I'm going to do the same thing, except for I'm going to set that to linear dodge. And then I'm just going to erase, anything that's covering my stock, my render itself. So that, see how it's all fuzzy and stuff like that? We want all that fuzz off of the focal point, which your render in your signature is always going to be your focal point. Even if you're doing abstract and your brushes, like your certain brushes, or your certain C4D that you may have as a, you know, that's your focal point. So I'm going and I'm erasing over each layer now. And unfortunately, I fucked this up when I did it because I didn't really do a great job erasing because I was on a timeline. I suggest that if you do a signature, you take a little bit more time than I did with this one, because I was working on a MacBook and I was trying to beat, get done under 15 minutes and eat a sandwich. So, I was like fucking, it was really going against the grain, man. Yeah, as you see, I'm still erasing because this stupid mouse. Like, I don't know if you guys have a MacBook Pro. I know Villain does, but the shit is fucking retarded. You need a mouse because it's just difficult to click with one finger and fucking move around the other finger to erase, and just way easier if you got yourself a mouse. And also, I'm doing this on a voiceover because, like I said yesterday, it was my first video tutorial. I wasn't really sure what the fuck I was doing, so you gotta take what you could get. Um, Next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a gradient map, and unfortunately, I'm using my design for school, so I don't really have a lot of gradients on this Photoshop. I have them on my one for RGC. Obviously, I have a lot more, but I like this purple to orange one anyway. So I mean, it's the one I used to use all the time. And what I'm doing is I'm changing the blend mode on it, and all my signatures usually look light, so I changed this to I'm gonna go something darker, test out multiply, and that looks good. It looks okay anyway. So, but I'm gonna change it back to linear blur or linear burn. Sorry. Now, I turned down the opacity to something not so quite overpowering, around 60 something, and then I'm going to make another layer, and I'm going to fill it with black. I'm guessing because I'm trying to remember exactly step by step. Yeah, okay, I'm filling it with black. Um, on the new layer, and then I'm going to take my brush and get like a soft fuzzy brush, white, and I'm going to just do the edge. You know, Whenever you do a lighting source like this, I know the veterans, the guys that's been here for a long time doing this design, they know, but you always like put it wherever the light shows on the render. So if your light is like beaming off the left side of them, then you don't want to put the light on the right side of them. See, Goofy, you can see the brightness in his shoulder, on the back of his head and stuff, so I put it on that side. Then what I do is I put the whole layer on linear dodge. So now I'm going back over because after I did that, I noticed a lot more of the light sources and pieces that I missed with the eraser. So I'm going back over it and re-erasing things that I missed the first time. Because I'm really picky about how my signatures look because I spent a long time getting them to the way they look now, developing my style. And what I like about RGC is some of the stuff that all of us do, me, Kiwi, Raiden, Crash. I mean, some of it is really similar. Some of it is a little bit more intricate. We each have our own style, but a lot of the things that we do is similar. Um, I like the fact that a lot of our work is really clean. And that's important. So then I make a new layer and I apply image. And it's a little dark, so I add a lens flare. So go to render, lens flare, set it to 105 millimeter prime or whatever the fuck this is. The third one down, and set it to 100%. Then push OK, and you get that light there. We're gonna set that layer to linear dodge or overlay. Overlay. I do it different each time, so like I said, this is voiceover. Um, then what I'm going to do is make another layer, and I'm going to I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm waiting to see what tool I click. Maybe it'll jog my memory. I was probably biting my sandwich. Okay, so I get the brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that black, and I'm going to dab around the edges on a new layer. Just like give it that burnt look. It draws your eyes to the focal point, which in this case is Goofy. Then I'm going to set that layer to overlay as well. Anyone who needs help with signatures can contact me, either on the website or on Skype. I'll help you, show you some tips. You know, make a new layer, apply image. Then what we're going to do is right click the image, go blending options. We're going to go and we're going to find a stroke. We're going to go to the stroke options, put that to the inside stroke, change color to gradient, and change that to my purple and orange one that I just used. Then I'm going to change the blending option to linear dodge. Resize it to 1 pixel. Then it looks, good. It gives it a little border. Okay. Then I'm going to add an inner glow. I use black for this one. And I changed it from screen to normal. And first you turn down the range all the way. I don't know why, but that's what I always do first. And then I move the sides up till I get something like this. Then I turn the range up, and it kind of pulls it back, but still leaves a little bit of the black behind. Then I push OK. Then I go over to my text layers. The great thing about RGC, man, is after you're in here for so long, if you do stuff work with some of the great multimedia teams, you get a lot of practice. When I came here, I wasn't as good as a designer, and now I'm, one of the leaders of the design team. So, well, for this project, I'm just gonna put tutorial. I did it at 12 point. I mean, I see a lot of people making signatures that are like fucking. The text is like half of the image, and your text shouldn't overpower your signature itself. You should always keep it smaller. So I put in the tutorial. It's black right now. Change it to 14. It's still small, but it's a little bigger. Because you want it legible. And then I just put it off to the side in this blank area. Now sometimes I add a C40, something like this. Sometimes I add another image, and turn down the opacity so it looks like it's in the background. In this case, not. Now I'm going to go to the blending options of the text, do the stroke, inner stroke, change it to the gradient, purple and orange, and play with the blending options down to linear burn. And then I'm going to do outer glow, and I'm going to leave the outer glow at the default settings because it matches what's behind Google.